Hail Heroes, and welcome to the Paragon City Games stream for the 22nd of September. Yeah, let's get everything going here. I feel like we have a larger than average crowd tonight because of the pre-release.
Yeah, Ixalan. I am really excited, and you guys in chat, tell us all the sweet Ixalan cards that you're excited to play with in Legacy.
Do you have your eye on anything for Legacy?
I don't pay much attention to spoilers, really.
It's the Spyglass is, I think, the biggest card.
Yeah, the Spyglass is the one that I do know for sure looks promising in this format if you can make Ancient Tomb or City of Traders.
Yeah, last week we had a guy talking about the Spyglass saying that Ancient Tomb is going to get banned. And I'm hoping that never happens because I'm a Mud player.
I kind of hope. I'm really excited to opt in Legacy.
Are we planning on streaming the pre-release? I don't think there's any plans to right now, but yeah, I'm not sure. I might talk to them about it, but at this point, no. I would have a hard time doing that. I'm not the greatest limited player myself. And I don't think there's a whole lot of viewership that stays up until 1 in the morning.
I don't know. You could have people on the other side of the world wanting to watch some pre-release action.
Yeah, and
it would be the middle of day. They're waiting for it.
I suppose so.
A recap would be cool.
I think next week we'll do a recap of how our nights go for sure. Let's see if I can get everything.
Is this the thing? Twitch.tv/Paragon City Games?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And so we might have a Jund mirror match tonight because Rich is back. Rich used to stream 5 ever ago, and he's coming back with Jund, and Kyr also plays Jund. So I'm kind of hoping to see the Jund mirror match.
I kind of do too, just because I know how much you disdain the Jund archetype. I would love to see the mirror.
I'm coming around a little bit, I think. Like,
Bloodbraid Elf is kind of like having Brainstorm. Probably not. I don't know. It's a good card, though. I love me a Bloodbraid Elf.
I was just watching some Legacy today, and the hand disruption... I've never been a discard player, and I think that's kind of where I'm having the problem. And punishing fire in that deck, I think, is really fair.
Yeah.
The removal's insane, so it just flourishes when they're playing creature decks. It's good against in my opinion, the best deck in the format, which is Delver.
Yeah.
And it has quite a few good sideboard options.
Well, that's also why we've seen such a huge resurgence in check pile. Earthquake. What is happening?
That's going to be getting fixed pretty soon. At least it went back to normal.
Yeah, that was nice that I don't have to go out and fix it. But the check pile deck also seems to have a really good Delver matchup, and I think that check pile probably beats on Jund. I don't know, though.
I've been trying to watch more Legacy lately, and we were just talking out there about how the whole format is just like Leovold, but we don't see that in our meta.
No. We do not see much Leovold in our meta, but if you want to play online and look, it's like there are a lot of Leovold decks running around. Check pile is really big, and I think it's because of how well it preys on the Delver decks. And so I think that maybe makes it a hostile place for punishing Jund.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, maybe punishing Jund is more favored than I'm giving it credit for. Like, punishing fire is really good. Or is it? Like, is it really good against the Leovold? Maybe it's not.
That card specifically, no, but Lily is.
Yeah, sure, it's really good against Liliana, yeah.
No, Liliana is really good against Leovold.
Oh, yeah, and Punishing Fire is good against Liliana. Well, Liliana's in both decks, right?
Yeah.
So. All right, well, it sounds like pairings have gone up. We're just waiting
for players to get seeded.
Oh, we have some players. Hello, Jorgensen. Did we miss you last week, Jorgensen?
He did. He was not here last week.
Yeah. My life felt empty.
Yeah, I haven't...
With no Jorgensen. I feel like the quality of our stream was probably at an all-time low because you weren't there correcting us.
Yeah, Kyer worked really hard on this this overlay. I have to give him all the credit.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due.
It is awesome.
Yeah, pre-releases are the only time I play limited. Other than, like, just really rarely, like, the cube that I own. But hopefully next week we're going to be able to do that.
Can you consider Pauper Cube
limited?
True limited?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
If I can't play 4 of a card in my deck, it's limited.
I don't know that's something to be frowning about, Jorgensen.
I would even consider Commander limited. I'm kidding.
I mean, all right. Do we know who these players are?
No. Can you run out there and get names?
Yeah.
We don't have anybody seated at the other table, so maybe make sure that someone's sitting down. Awesome. You were in New Orleans last week. I hope for something fun. There's a lot to do in New Orleans, I've heard. New Orleans kind of threading the needle between 2 hurricanes, I feel like. Unless it...
Okay, it's Kyer on Punishing Jund and Noah on I'm an Idiot and forgot to ask what his deck list is. Or look at it, at least.
Okay,
so,
which side is Kyer on left?
Kyer's orange sleeves.
Oh.
Noah is...
We'll be fine. K-Y-E-R. That's how you spell it.
Yeah, missing stream was sad face, but I imagine being in New Orleans was fun. I would love to go to New Orleans just to try the, like, cooking.
Huh.
But...
I'm pretty sure Pauper Cube...
Fate Reforged wasn't a bad format.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying Fate Reforged was great, because he's talking about a Pauper Cube, which is also great. What was the other player? Sorry.
Noah.
Something.
Unknown as of now, because...
I feel, yeah.
I don't think about things.
We'll figure it out pretty quickly, and I usually take the perspective of the player on the right anyway, and so we're going into this match blind.
It looks like
Deathrite
Library,
Shaman.
Deathrite Shaman, Jund. This looks like Jund also, or Check Pile. But I don't know that Check Pile would ever play a main deck Sylvan Library, so I'm gonna assume we're looking at a mirror match here.
So there might be 3 Jund players tonight. That's kind of nuts.
I can't tell with that black card. Oh, that's a Deathrite Shaman. The lighting of it made it look like the new art in Tomb for like a split second, but whoa, Kyer's not playing Jund.
I think Kyer's on the left.
You're right. We're wrong. I'm just ruining everything today, so...
We'll figure out what he's playing. I think it's going to be...
can we assume Death and Taxes?
No,
Tundra. There's a Tundra.
So that means Miracles.
And a Monastery Mentor, so I'm going to assume it's Miracles.
That's safe.
I mean, maybe it could be like a Stoneblade type of deck.
So there's a Sylvan Library.
No, it's Miracles, because I can see the portent.
White bordered bolt. Kyer confirmed.
You know, I actually want to start, like, in my, like, commander decks and stuff, playing all different artwork basic lands, just because of Kyer. Like, he's kind of putting me on it. Like, just get all my favorite artworks.
So from Noah, we see Counterbalance. So this is...
Is there a Counterbalance in his hand?
He just put... Oh, I saw
he just drew it? He put it back on
It was a portent, so...
Oh, the portent, sure. Sure. I see that now. Interesting. We've seen Josh Snow also playing Counterbalance alongside Soothsaying to great success here as well. So
if there's a chance that Soothsaying's in here, there's also a big chance that it's not.
Yeah, Counterbalance just... Sometimes the blind flip, you just get there. Like
the
amount of...
It really only has to get 1 card, and multiple counterbalances can just trigger shuffle or something, and then maybe blind flip again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you hit 2 cards with it, you've already, created some form of virtual card advantage,
So here's a Hymn to Turok.
I have never seen that artwork before.
Well, thank you, Kyer, for playing all of the artworks for Hymn to Turok, right?
Wow. That's new. I've never, ever seen that artwork. So Monastery Mentor and Polluted Delta are the discard. No one's going to take a draw. And I think you just jam Counterbalance. Boom. How many Abrupt Decays do you imagine are in Kyre's deck? Like 2?
It's been a while since we've discussed that, but 3-3, like 3 split with
That's the best hymn art, you savages. I like the Modern Master or the Eternal Masters artwork of Hymn to Turok.
As long as you're not playing the Wolves.
The Wolves.
The Wolves is fine.
Gosh.
I mean,
Joey always played the Wolves.
he did.
I'm pretty sure Kyre's also probably got the Wolves in here too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
He's got to have all the artworks.
If he's playing that many.
Yeah.
So Thought Squeeze.
Snapcaster Mage Brainstorm. I think you take Brainstorm?
Ooh.
Because Snapcaster Mage... Well, I don't know. I mean, this game's going to go long, so Noah's probably going to draw more lands. I like Brainstorm, though.
Not what I would have gone with just impulsively, because I feel like Snapcaster can be like a 2-for-1 in a lot of ways.
Sure.
But you have so much removal, and there's a counterbalance on the field, that I think that is definitely correct.
Okay. And he just drew a Polluted Delta, so... Snapcaster Mage now going to be able to make some value.
So he must plan on killing him soon.
Jorgensen says take the snap, so...
All hail the Jorgensen.
So we've got another Lightning Bolt. It looks like he's casting it? No, maybe not.
Casting it is a double-edged sword, because it's going to give him a scry with that.
No, he's casting a Deathrite Shaman. There we go. Let's see what he... Oh, Flooded Strand.
But now he knows that he wants to shuffle his library, because Kyre let him see the top card.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't
That's
flip.
kind of interesting. I kind of like not shuffling my library, though, just because you have to use one of the fetches, or you use one of your fetches and then have a fetch left over to Snapcaster Brainstorm, if that's on your radar. But maybe that's just not something Noah's interested in doing right now. Being able to have that fetch after I Brainstorm.
I think maybe it's just the immediate, I don't want to draw a Flooded Strand right now.
Sure. So Soothsaying coming down for Noah. So we have
Combo assembled.
the lock.
Now he wants lands like that. But I would say that it really paid off that he fetched.
Yeah,
he
fetching there was good.
Yeah, very
good. He found the action, so I guess he just knew what he was trying to draw.
So Wasteland, something, and red card. He draws the fetchy.
Soft lock at best.
Yeah, but it has the word lock in it, so
right.
Still calling it a lock.
Was countertop more than a soft lock? I mean...
It was a soft lock.
It was technically a soft lock. I mean, it was a pretty hard soft lock, but...
So he sees a Council's Judgment, but no second white. The card at the front looks like a duel, I think.
So let's see what he draws. Yep. It is the dual land.
Significantly, it's not a white duel.
So you said was there also a second land in there, or a Council's Judgment is what you saw?
Council's Judgment was the other card.
Okay.
He's going to be able to reorder the top 4 of his library.
Oh, he only looked at 2, right, with Soothsaying?
Yes.
Okay, so we saw dual land plus that. He has plenty of mana to activate Soothsaying again, but he also always just has the option of Snapcaster. Oh, never mind. Portent. I was thinking Predict was in its Portent. So never mind. Scratch that thought.
Yeah, and that Brainstorm is gone.
Deathrite Shaman gonna nom the Swords to Plowshares. Which I like that. I like attacking, being aggressive with the one Deathrite Shaman because you have the other, so he can't Snapcaster in response. So
Kyre has a lock of his own.
Yeah.
Anti-Snapcaster lock. He has all of his win cons on board, so Counterbalance not really doing anything here when he's already behind.
Yeah. Gotta find a Terminus.
Yeah. The Terminus will bring this around. Ooh. There's one Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
So the answer is...
do you fire... I think you fire that off on the Soothsaying. Like you saying, with the Deathrite Shamans in play and the Sylvan Library on the board, he's going to be able to draw, outs if he needs. I kind of like just taking out the Soothsaying. That limits the amount of cards Noah gets to look at to find Terminus.
There it is. Terminus, Tundra.
Force of Will, Council's Judgment.
Yeah. So he has a 6, 5, and a 3 that he can move around with that Soothsaying if he needs to counter something.
Yeah, I'm not sure that those are going to counter much. The 6, 5, and the 3 out of Kyre's deck.
You're right. The 3 might.
The 3 might hit a Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah.
But I think that we're interested here in just putting Terminus's trigger onto the stack.
Gonna nom.
Gonna nom the Portent. And...
probably nom something of his own.
Yeah. I like this. Eating something of yours, dealing some damages. Noah dropping down to 11. He's going to need to tap a white mana for that, though. There we go.
Passes the turn, and now he's just... I think he's just content to sit on this Soothsaying.
Yeah.
But he knows all 3 cards on top of his library. So... Snapcaster not really going to do much. So Noah kind of at a... He's going to have spot removal,
Kyre going to take some damages there. I think he's falling down to 9. He was at 13.
You feel like he's getting a little flooded?
A little bit. I mean, there were 3 lands on top. He had to take 4 damage just to get a land off so that he can see 2 fresh cards with the Sylvan Library next turn.
Probably fine with that in this matchup, though.
Yeah, your life total not super relevant. If the Monastery Mentor is going to kill you, it's going to kill you whether you're at 4 or at 20.
Mm-hmm.
So, not too worried about your life total.
So now he's going for that
Abrupt Decay is going to go after the Soothsaying. I like this. I like attacking the Soothsaying.
Yeah.
You have enough variance in the CMCs of your cards that the probability of the counterbalance just blind flipping to counter a lot of your spells is pretty low. With the exception of probably like Deathrite Shaman is probably the easiest to be countered, but Bloodbraid Elf, unless Noah has a Jace the Mind Sculptor, I'm not sure there's much that's going to counter Bloodbraid Elf. So I think Kyre's got a lot of ways to just not care about this counterbalance.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
3 more lands again.
And the Wasteland not going to do much when he's on 3 basics. He Wastelanded last turn.
Yeah.
He's going to take 4.
Yeah. Dropping down to 5. And he's just got a grip of lands and a Lightning Bolt. And there's a 4th land from Noah.
He's definitely better off
Council's
now.
Judgment.
Ooh. I was going to say he's better off now thanks to that library than he would have been just draw land, draw land, draw land.
So the 3rd Wasteland this game is going to take care of the Tundra.
Did they play more than 3?
Jund? Jund plays 4.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, a fetch land. And Kyre going to play a forest and pass the turn. Looks like, are we going to see just a naked Snapcaster Mage? The life total is low enough that I wouldn't have much bad to say about that play.
No. I like the naked Snapcaster sorcery speed, though, at this point, because it can get a portent.
I don't think there's a portent in the graveyard. That's a Soothsaying.
There's a Soothsaying?
Yeah.
Oh, the portent got eaten as well.
Yeah, the portent got exiled.
Oh, my bad.
So it looks like Kyre picked up another land.
Yeah.
Drew another Grove of the Burn Willows. So, wow, really flooding out here.
So here's a Brainstorm.
And kind of just shows the power of cantrips in these long games. Noah's been able to find exactly the amount of lands he wants when he needs them.
Yeah.
And Kyre just kind of at the mercy of the top of his library. counterbalances the draw.
He knew he was drawing it, but...
So it looks like his hand is Force, Counterspell. So he's going to Ponder, or Snapcaster Mage, Flashback, Ponder.
Terminus, Force of Will.
Monastery Mentor.
Ooh. He can lay down that Mentor, but I bet he wants to get a good grip of counter magic and...
Not even going to flip the counterbalance because he knows what's on top.
Yeah, no use giving your opponent information.
Right.
Popping that fetch land just to thin. Takes a turn off of a Snapcaster Clock. Not that that's relevant now that he's killed that Snapcaster with his bolt. See if he can draw something that's not a land. It's getting pretty likely now that he... Oh!
Wow.
Come on!
Ouch.
That hurts.
Pass the turn.
At some point, his deck has just got to be nothing but non-land cards.
At some point, he's just going to start hitting gas.
Hopefully. It kind of looks like it might be too late.
It needs to be this turn. He needs to draw an answer this turn.
It needs to draw like Abrupt Decay, because I think there is a Force of Will.
Yeah, otherwise he is just exactly dead. Because Noah just casts Counterbalance and attacks for 3 with Monastery Mentor.
Is that 4 Force of Wills in his hand?
I think it's 3 forces and a Counterbalance.
Oh, theirs is a Counterbalance.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
Well, I guess no matter what, because even this play, Noah's just going to force it and get 3 power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's just curtains.
I feel like Kyer had this until his deck just turned against him.
Yeah.
Like he was
in a really commanding position, I felt. Well, maybe not too far ahead, but he was definitely in the game. We definitely had a game. But that was like 6 turns ago when Kyer had spells.
Yeah. And even with a Sylvan Library, he kept on drawing cards off of it, and it was just like, here's more land.
Yeah.
Here's more land. Like, oh, you're going to shuffle away that land on top because you're drawing, you know. And it just was more land. That's unbelievable.
That was a... But that's Magic, right? That's why we love this game.
So he's kind of showing us his sideboard.
So it looks like he's got a couple copies of...
Kyer should definitely take all the lands out of his deck.
I think that's the play. Board out 15 lands and board in 15 cards. So he's looking at 2 copies of Surgical Extraction.
Pithing Needle seems...
That he just grabbed.
Pithing Needle seems pretty good against Soothsaying.
Yeah.
But not much else.
No. So didn't quite see everything that Kyer grabbed. As far as sideboard, I did see him grab a couple copies of Surgical Extraction.
It looks like Noah's taking out Portent. It kind of looks like Force of Will and all the Force of Will and 1 Portent.
Interesting.
Or maybe not all of the Force of Will.
I like boarding out Force of Will in this matchup.
It was a smaller number of Force of Will. I think it was at least 1, and then it's important. It was mostly blue cards he was taking out.
I don't know how I feel about Soothsaying. I just don't know that I have enough experience with the deck to say whether or not it's good in the matchup. Maybe it's just too slow and like clunky and not really what you want to be doing, but
I think you have time.
I feel like I like Soothsaying against Jund.
Jund.
Jund. So Kyer looking like he's brought in 5 cards, 6 cards. A grip. He's brought in a grip of cards.
Not taking out any land. Gosh. After that last game, I think just taking out all of the land would have been maybe leaving 1.
You think Jorgensen's found the play here?
Just think of all the action he would have in his hand. He can only bring in 15 cards, so if he left 3 land in his deck. I don't know how many land they play.
I think I played 23 lands when I played Punishing Jund.
That is quite a few.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of need to grapple. Thank you for following. Grapple. Is this by chance someone from a former podcaster? Grapple? I don't know. I just know there's a heavy meta podcast, The Raging Gumby. He was known for grapple, but I don't know, maybe this is a different person. I probably use a different person.
That looks like a pretty good hand for Kyre. I didn't see all of the cards, but it's 3 land and some spells.
3 lands, a Tarmogoyf.
Looks like he's going to
Looks like a Deathrite Shaman as well, which will be the play.
Did see Swords to Plowshares for Noah. Looks like a tapped Plains is going to be Swordsing.
Yep. 21 goes Kyre. And he found another Deathrite Shaman. I kind of like making the Deathrite Shaman here.
Over the Lurgoyf?
I mean, a 1-2 Tarmogoyf's not that impressive. Well, I guess it'd be a 2-3.
It's...
I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Swords to Plowshares kills anything, so maybe you just get the pressure on the board, play the Tarmogoyf, because it's just going to keep growing. It's going to scale.
Okay, so you've played Jund before.
Yeah.
Is the idea of playing Tarmogoyf a little bit later so that you can get more life, so that you can draw more cards off of your Sylvan library, a factor at all? Is that too deep? Or would you rather just use all your mana like
you
Kyre
have
just did?
to be probably thinking on a completely different level than I've ever thought on to ever consider that. I don't know that that's a line
Am I next level or bad?
I think you might be next level.
I think I've discovered over the past month, I like gaining life. I've come to terms with it.
Does that make you a Timmy? A Johnny?
I don't
know what that makes you.
I don't.
But ASO515, thank you for the follow, sir. Or ma'am.
If it's
Tarmogoyf,
if it's elite,
for 3.
If it's elite, it's Asosis. Just saying.
So Tarmogoyf cracks in for 3. Noah falls to 17. Draws a copy of Soothsaying. Polluted Delta's the play.
Ooh, that's a Blood Moon.
Patty BMTG says that's bad. It makes him a Soul Sisters player.
No, okay. Different kind of life gain.
Shame. Ding, 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 ding.
Do I have to get naked now?
Shame. So I like Blood Moon. Ooh, Abrupt Decay. I traded Kyre that Abrupt Decay, by the way.
So
I'm part of the madness that is his deck.
He kills the Soothsaying, playing right into Noah's hands.
Yeah, he's tapping. Well,
he's using the Abrupt Decay for not Blood Moon.
So here's the thing, though, is that Fetchland's just going to find a basic forest, and Kyre's not in the worst of shape. So this Blood Moon not going to be too detrimental. Yeah, it's going to be painful because it takes him off of have that extra mana source. But he's just fetching right now, so let's see if he's got the read on Blood Moon or if he goes for a dual land.
I think Blood Moon completely no.
Ouch. So this Blood Moon is going to hurt.
The Deathrite Shaman will help, but it'll make doing anything pretty tough. After Noah lands the Blood Moon, he still has to deal with all of the creatures on the field.
Right. So Tarmogoyf is now a 4/5. See if he fires this Wasteland off.
No extra land in Noah's hand? Or was there do you see an extra land in Noah's hand? No.
I don't. Yeah.
So if he fires this off, he won't be able to get Blood Mooned.
I like firing this off.
Wasteland really good when you're ahead.
Tarmogoyf gonna beat in for 4. He scaled quite nicely this game. I think every turn that he's been in play, he's grown exactly 1 power.
Good boy.
What doesn't die grows.
And
what dies grows, the Tarmogoyf. So Brainstorm here looking at Terminus, Force of Will, Monastery Mentor. Terminus going to be good. But no third land.
Before he does anything, I like putting Terminus 2 from the top.
Okay.
Delay. Do you see what he did? I completely missed it.
I did not. I didn't get a chance to see it either.
Hopefully trying to get more value, you know?
Mm-hmm. That was just the main phase Brainstorm. See, I don't know that you get greedy and go for value.
Yeah, I mean...
But it looks like Kyre is just going to play into that. This just puts lethal on the board. So he says you have to have Terminus or you're dead. which I do like that.
Okay.
If you
My play
if
was
you
greedy.
don't if you don't have lethal, like say it's another Deathrite Shaman, I don't like playing it. I like saying just here's the Tarmogoyf, answer this, then I'll play my next threat. But I like presenting lethal there, especially if your follow-up's a Bloodbraid Elf. That's a good follow-up. Bait the Terminus and then make Bloodbraid Elf.
So Cascade trigger on the stack.
See if there's going to be any response.
You at least see what he casts.
Yeah, you at least see what happens with the Cascade before you decide. Liliana the Veil.
That's a good card. Now,
Bloodbraid Elf's a good magic card.
Oh yeah.
So now what do? Do you force? I think you have to force the Bloodbraid Elf.
Can he force both?
I don't know if he has 2 forces.
Oh, force pitch force. He does. He does have 2 forces.
Yeah, I just don't know that he had. I don't know that he had 2 blue cards to throw away at it, and he decides to go after the Liliana.
He did.
Oh, he had a Jace there, and there's one in the back.
Yeah, the other one was a counterbalance, I believe.
So maybe you force the Bloodbraid Elf so that you're not taking all this damage, and just hope that you can draw out of the Liliana. It's a tall order, but it gives you more turns than
Kyre taking
against
it down,
the Bloodbraid Elf. So we're
now,
tied 1-1.
Yeah. I'm gonna peek in on the other screen just for a moment. I'm sure this game will start almost immediately.
We've got Ray.
This is goblins. I've seen goblins gaining popularity.
I almost don't want to go back to the other table now.
I'm sorry, we're gonna. You like forcing the Bloodbraid Elf?
I do too. I mean, you're between a rock and a hard place no matter what. Like that Liliana is just gonna rip apart your hand. But the Bloodbraid Elf puts you on a 2-turn clock, whereas the Liliana, you have a lot more turns to try to draw out of it. So I think that I would have possibly forced the Bloodbraid Elf there.
Yeah, the goblins list that I saw online earlier this week had Deathrite Shaman in it.
That's not a goblin.
No,
I
it's
call
not.
foul play.
But he good.
I think that if my opponent is playing goblins and then they make a Deathrite Shaman, I call the judge and ask for a deck check.
You're playing 2 off-color. You're
And
playing
then-
both green and black.
And then when the judge confirms that Deathrite Shaman's in his deck list, I call the flavor judge over and ask him for a game loss for playing an elf shaman in your goblins deck.
And he gives you a game loss. And he's
no,
like,
no,
you
no.
may have a game loss.
No. No. So fetching for Bayou, Kyre. I imagine this is a Deathrite Shaman.
You imagined correctly.
Yeah, wow, who'd have thought? So many one-drop plays.
Oh, I'm getting deja
vu. All 3 games have been turn 1 Deathrite, turn 1 Swords the Deathrite. All 3 games. What is this? Just a
pretty cards. Oh, these are for cube.
Oh, cool. Is it cube? Yeah, I was about to say maybe someone's commander deck, but there's an Emrakul in there. And that
No,
card's
yeah.
banned.
I watched Tuesday, and Kyre was talking about his foil, what do you call it? Frantic Search. And I think he got all those cards signed.
Oh, cool. So let's see. He's going to fetch. It looks like he's got a Grim Flare that he can play. I don't know.
That's a clock.
Yeah.
Not going to be a 4/4 anytime soon, but 2/2 is just fine. That smooths out his draw steps.
Deathrite Farmer.
Yeah. Deathrite went to live on a farm upstate.
Swords to Plowshare is going to take care of the Grim Flare. A Grim Farmer.
Graveyard order by blue-white is messy. Yeah, because the Flooded Strand is supposed to be underneath the
swords?
The swords.
Yeah, you're right.
Entirely not relevant in this deck.
Yeah. Actually relevant in the format, though.
There's a Blood Moon.
Yeah.
He brings Punishing Fire to the forefront. He's like, got it.
Yeah.
He plays a Mountain.
I like Grim Flayer, Grapple. Like, it provides nice card selection for the Jund deck. It synergizes well with your cards that like to be in the graveyard, like Punishing Fire.
It matches up really well with True Name. It has Trample.
Yeah,
And
4/4 with Trample is relevant against a 3/1.
There's an entire box of caulking right there for some reason.
Yeah, nice with Lingering Souls if you're going like the Obzon route.
Oh, yeah, because it puts flashback cards in the graveyard. Also good with Deathrite Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I think it's great.
I've seen people playing more copies of that than...
Baneslayer Angel was the draw! Wow! What? I mean, do my eyes deceive me?
No.
Was that a Baneslayer Angel?
That's 100% a Baneslayer Angel.
Oh, he needs to draw planes. So bad. He needs to draw planes.
Yeah, I think that thing will hit, and then just Force of Will make it win the game. And not that it needs help.
Oh, I haven't been this giddy since I was like 8 years old. Baneslayer Angel? What? Feats Anglers. There's another reason why Grimflayer's great.
Yeah, I was saying, some lists play more Grimflayers than Tarmogoyfs.
So now Soothsaying, though. Noah, I think, having a pretty hard lock at this point on Kyre. He's got to just naturally draw his basics.
Yeah.
And this Soothsaying is going to look at 2, 4, 6 cards a turn.
That's
Or not a turn, but 6 cards at once.
This,
If he's got to find a plane.
Nope.
Come on. Oh, please.
0 of those cards
And
were
I
planes.
know he has 2 at least, because I've seen 2 different artworks of planes this game so far.
You were 8 when Baneslayer was dominating Standard?
I don't know how old I was when Baneslayer was dominating Standard. But I remember being giddy when I was like 8 years old. I have since grown into somewhat of a curmudgeon.
I couldn't even count until I was 15.
I'm somewhat of a grumpy curmudgeon despite the fact that I'm under 30.
Kyre discards his like 3rd card to Blood Moon.
This is rough for Kyre. And now facing a Jace.
Oh, I thought that was a 9.
Jace Fate Seal, yeah. So
it's just a 6. Oh, and now...
I'm going to say Kyre under a pretty hard lock here.
Yeah, that's not going to let him draw any basics.
What he's got to hope is that, that Noah sees a card that he has to bottom with Jace, and then he's just got another good card under the Jace, under the card that got bottom, I was a grumpy curmudgeon at like 12.
A lot of people think of the Miracles deck as just a white-blue deck. The red.
Yeah.
It's usually only sideboard cards, but when it plays a sideboard card that's red, worth it.
So hard cast Force of Will on the Surgical Extraction. And I imagine Kyre just firing that off just so he doesn't have to discard again.
Do we know what that was targeting?
The Force of Will? The Surgical Extraction.
Surgical.
Oh, no. I imagine Brainstorm, possibly? The Brainstorm and Swords to Plowshares are the only targets, so I'm going to guess one of those 2.
Yeah, it was probably Brainstorm. Kyre needed more Thoughtseize effects to see...
Yeah, and Kyre, he sees the writing. Disappointing. I wanted to see Baneslayer Angel.
Well, now we get to see Goblins.
Better not be Deathrite Shamans.
Doesn't look like it. Usually the Deathrite Shaman build has dual lands and fetches and...
We have Ray on the left side playing what I imagine is Check Pile.
I believe so.
And we have Goblins on the other side. I guess he could have cardigated Flooded Strands.
I think that was the worst target of all
under
of
the
them,
Blood Moon, hitting Flooded Strand's not super relevant.
Do we know who's on the right? Some kind of goblin?
I don't know who's playing it, but it is goblins. So, I don't know, like, hardly anything about goblins. I understand that it's a goblin deck, right? And it's somewhat of
an
a
Aether
combo.
Vial deck.
Yeah. It's just like a go wide, make a bunch of derps.
It has removal. It can toolbox and go tutor for goblins.
It has Tarfire. Is that just because it's a goblin tribal? Tarfire?
It's tutorable.
Oh, yeah, you were just saying that. It's tutorable. I'm sitting here thinking, going, that just makes their Tarmogoyfs big. But it's tutorable, so that's actually really cool synergy.
Yeah.
Snapcaster Mage from Ray targeting him to
Turok. Ooh. This looks like a...
Oh, yeah, what is that one?
Those are 2 lords that give haste, I believe.
Hasty Lords.
So it's a 2/2 that gives all their goblins +1/+1 and haste.
Okay.
That hurts. Ooh, what is that?
Yeah, that's an Engineered Plague.
Engineered Plague will do that.
Yeah.
Goblin Pile Driver. Goblin Pile Driver. I can bring this card up, but it gets
protection from blue.
It has protection from blue, and it gets +2/+0 for every other attacking goblin.
Yep. So he gets big.
So that has protection. It is unblockable by everything on Ray's side of the field.
Right.
This could kill him in one turn.
I don't know if there's a threat in Ray's deck that could actually block Pile Driver.
Fair.
I think that all of his threats are blue. So he really needs to find like a Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt or something to take care of this guy. In for 1, Goblins falls to 18, and Ray will pass the turn.
I believe Goblin Pile Driver got a reprint in, Origins.
Mm-hmm. So... So Goblin Pile Driver is scary, but not really going to do anything, though, with the Engineered Plague.
It's a 1/2.
Well, it's an 0/1.
Oh.
Because of the Engineered
Well,
Plague.
yeah, it's a 1/2, so it's a 0/1 now.
Right, but
at least it's alive.
Yeah, but what other goblins are going to get on the board to attack with it to make it big?
Not many, but...
There are some more 2 toughness goblins.
Yes, and it sucks that he lost those lords, because the lord meant...
That he could play through Engineered Plague?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Tarfire the Snapcaster Mage.
Takes 1. I don't think Ray cares that much that his clock is slow.
I don't think so either. I don't know that, like, is there anything a mono red goblins that can do against an Engineered Plague?
Yes. Well, not against the plague specifically, but it can assemble a board that still works.
It can draw some lords. It can...
Like, if you draw a Goblin Matron, it still enters the battlefield and you can tutor for anything. Okay. So you go and tutor for maybe a lord. Mm-hmm. So you put the lord on the battlefield, and then maybe you get like a Siege Gang Commander. If anyone's familiar with Siege Gang Commander.
Siege Gang Commander.
Siege Gang Commander.
Okay. So he needs to draw like specifically Goblin Matron, Lord, and Siege Gang Commander.
One of the 2 and a Matron, and a Matron becomes either one.
I don't think we need a cycle of Deathrite Shamans, 1 for each tribe. I think the last thing that we need is more Deathrite Shaman effects. Some Goblin decks splash white. What are they splashing white for?
Thalia.
That's not a Goblin. You can't do that.
They don't care.
Those crazy Goblins. Jace Vryn's protege.
Ouch.
Deathrite Tribal.
So there's a Blood Moon Little late.
Yeah, a little late to the party. And
Hydroblast.
Hydroblast just going to take care of that. Wow, Hydroblast, not one you typically see in a sideboard, but awesome here.
Ray actually runs Hydroblast and Blue Elemental Blast.
Okay.
Because surgical extraction.
Yeah. It's just interesting that he has... I mean, I guess like with a deck like Ray's, you want to be able to counter lightning bolts and a lot of the red removal in the mirror that takes care of your threats. So I can see Hydroblast. Oh yeah, Wear Tear seems great out of splashing.
Oh yeah.
I can't get behind Thalia though.
Why?
Because it's not a goblin.
Your storm matchup is so bad in goblins.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
You can't play a human in your goblins deck.
She was raised by goblins.
No, she wasn't.
Don't you read the lore? Goblins are actually tax collectors. They like their
They
ports
really
and
crush over
wastelands.
Thalia. So Thalia is kind of like their... okay, I have this thing now of Thalia, kind of like... I'm envisioning like the chick from Mean Girls, and the goblins are just like her posse, just like following Thalia around, and Thalia's like...
Because
I can get behind this now. Now I can get behind this.
Because she's like the smart one in the deck, and she can like tell the goblins what to do.
Yeah, she's like their...
She's like, she gives us foods!
Yeah, alright, I can get behind Thalia now. Make it Vorthos. Well, if you're playing goblins, it has to be Vorthos.
What is Vorthos?
Vorthos. That's like flavor, and like when you're super into like the lore of the game and the flavor of the game and the art and all that. That's Vorthos. So if you're Vorthos, yeah. See, and that's kind of what I'm thinking of, Labyrinth. And see, that's why I'm now behind the Thalia. I'm behind the Thalia now.
Thalia reminds me of the Babe.
What babe?
The Babe with the power.
What power?
The power of voodoo.
Hoodoo?
Thalia does.
Ah.
Jeez. All right.
So it looks like Ray took that one.
I'm going to type to the front desk and say...
Well...
The Goblin King was human. Rip David Bowie. Too soon. Okay, it's not too soon.
Always too soon. Always too soon for David Bowie. Michael Jackson will always be too soon as well. Does Thalia feed them after dark? Well, they're not gremlins, they're goblins. I think that you can feed a goblin after dark.
It's midnight. After midnight, then they turn into...
Or maybe I'm just missing something. Is there something in Labyrinth about feeding the goblins after dark that
No.
Okay.
It's gremlins.
I just wanted to make sure.
Oh.
After I was so off base last week with the floor thing, I feel like I just gotta check myself every time I say something now.
That was terrible.
It still makes sense in my mind.
Wow. So if a goblin ate after dark, would it turn into like a troll or something? I mean, it has to turn into something worse. And what's worse than a goblin, a troll?
Plot twist, it's always after midnight. It's always after midnight somewhere.
After midnight, I'm going to be pre-releasing.
Yeah, pre-release. Who's excited for the pre-release?
Anybody have any cards that they're excited for? Do you know what I'm excited for?
Besides the Spyglass, because we all know that one's probably going to be great.
Oh, it's...
But what cards are you guys excited about? Didn't even have to be Legacy necessarily, but what I'm just excited for dinosaurs. So when I was growing up, I loved dinosaurs. I wanted to be a paleontologist, even though I couldn't say that or know what the title was. Like, I just knew I wanted to dig up dinosaurs.
I thought there was like some social taboo where like you're not allowed to be a paleontologist.
No, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
You just couldn't pronounce the word.
I just couldn't pronounce that word because I was, 7 years old, but I knew I wanted to dig up dinosaurs.
Dino-scientist.
Yeah, I wanted to be a dino scientist, and so I am so excited for dinosaurs. Like, I'm looking at, like, the artworks that I have seen. I don't even care what the cards do. They're just these big, awesome dinosaurs.
What new Cradle card?
I like the Cradle, and I really want it to be good, even though I know it's not going to be.
What's the full name? I want to look at that.
Yeah. Do you have the whole name there? The Cradle.
Do you know the card I'm excited for? And I'll say it unashamedly. New Squadron Hawk. The Conquistador, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Conquistador. Do you think that makes Squadron Hawk decks viable in Pauper?
No.
No? Alright.
But that doesn't mean I won't try.
I'm going to try to Google this Cradle thing.
You must have flipped out.
Oh, he's talking about the flip land. There's one of the cards that flip into a cradle.
A Guy's Cradle?
Yeah.
Knockoff?
Yeah.
What's the flip clause?
I don't know, but I know it's one of the flip cards. These flip cards are really cool too.
Yeah.
That's something I'm also excited for. I think that Wizards absolutely nailed it with these new flip cards. And the card frames are awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of really wish that they wouldn't have dropped Masterpieces so soon, because those frames they were going to originally use for the Masterpieces in this set.
They're fantastic.
And I think those art frames are the best yet.
I would agree.
So I'm a little bummed. Growing Rights of Itlamok. That's quite a name. 4 creatures at end of turn flips into a cradle. That's fun. That's cool. I don't know. I mean, I guess I got to see the card, but like, do elf decks just want more cradles? Like, it's not hard to have 4 creatures in an elf deck and flip your cradle, right?
No, definitely not. Let's see if I can bring it up.
So, like, I think that, like, modern elves, like, that definitely seems viable.
Oh, yeah. 2 and a green.
Oh, it's green, too.
When Growing Rights of Itlamok enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order at the beginning of your end step. If you control 4 or more creatures, transform it. So you both look at...
Maybe not worth it in Legacy, but...
So, yeah, you just look at the top 4, can get a creature, and then it can flip into a land, a legendary land. Maybe a 1-of isn't that bad, though.
I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be fun to play, you know, just have a lot more cradles. But
maybe okay.
I don't know that it feels kind of win more. I don't know that Legacy needs this, but maybe Modern Elves wants it.
I think what sets me over the edge is that it's at the beginning of your end step. It transforms.
Pull us up on the thing.
Oh yeah.
There.
We need to change the names.
You gotta look at our ugly mugs.
I was rushed.
Yeah, I'm not Kyer.
Brandon. I'm not going to name you Bud today. Jerk. Wonder if I can. Nope. You just come towards me. Sweet. Yeah, I think if Rights of Itlamok just flipped when you had 4, and like you could do it while you're comboing, it would be worth it. But where it's at the end of your turn. Oh.
Fail.
I was a little bit rushed today. I'm sorry.
I do think Kyra's a much better person than me, so.
Don't dog yourself like
There's that.
You just fake it. Fake like you're the best, and then people might actually believe
just
you
pretend
sometimes.
that I'm not just a grumpy curmudgeon all the time.
Yeah. He says with much disdain.
So that card's cool.
I want to do an impression of Kaya really bad right now, but I'll save everyone the
I don't know that I
heartache.
could do an impression of Kyer, but I don't know.
I could, but I don't think that'd be very nice. I mean, he's so positive all the time that, like, that's what it would be.
How do you spell Ixalan? Oh, never mind. I just went IX and it was like the first thing. I'm just gonna like look at cards on my phone and we'll talk about them and see if they're cool.
Okay.
Ashes of the Abhorrent. Enchantment for 1 and a white. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. That's actually...
So is it like Grafdigger's Cage?
It's
more or
kind of like
less?
a Grafdigger's Cage, yeah. It's just a 2-mana Grafdigger's Cage, but it's a white enchantment that also gains you life when creatures die.
I like...
That's interesting. Like, that definitely has applications.
Yeah, they did just call either time in the round or the beginning of next round for Legacy. So I'm gonna bring up...
Doesn't touch library.
Yeah, just waiting. I've been sitting, waiting, wishing.
That's a good impression of Kyre.
Here's your impression.
This Rancor you had to bribe me to put in my deck that won me so many games. Takes it out of deck.
I like that impression of Rancor. Or no, Rancor, Kyre.
So Ashes of the Abhorrent, I don't think completely abhorrent. Maybe you could see some play.
It's definitely not better than...
Grafdigger's Cage.
No, what's the other one? The white one?
Oh, Rest in Peace.
Rest in Peace?
Yeah.
It's not.
You're right.
It would have to be a shell that really wants the life gain.
Sure.
And most people look down on people who like life gain. And so we're just never going to see it. It's never going to see play.
Yeah. We covered the Spyglass just because that's like the obvious like go-to. Like the Spyglass is probably going to be great.
It's the best card in the set.
For this format.
For the format.
Yeah. And Vintage. Like it's going to be great.
Because, yeah, it's just Chalice of the Void decks now have access to Pithing Needle. And the Pithing Needle
there's a good thought. So it's worse than Cage because it doesn't turn off Collected Company.
Well, yeah. It has like half of Cage for double the mana, but it gets the gain life clause. So I just think that we have better options.
Here's another one.
I like that it's an option.
Yeah. Axis of Mortality. 4 white for an enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep you may have 2 target players exchange life totals. You could trade life totals with your opponent.
So that's a win con in Angel's Grace.
Angel's Grace ad nauseum, draw my deck, make Ashes of Mortality. Oh, but no, because it happens at the beginning of your upkeep, so the Angel's Grace will wear off and you'll die.
Oh, you're going to have...
Yeah, that doesn't work, yo.
You're going to have Phyrexian Unlife.
You'd have to have Unlife.
Not undoable in a deck where you're drawing your entire deck.
Yeah. Like this? Bellowing Aegisar? I mean, this is obviously just for limited, but that's just such a cool... It's just a big dinosaur just growling to the wind. Just bellowing. So Bishop of Rebirth. 3 white for a creature vampire cleric with vigilance. Whenever Bishop of Rebirth attacks, you may return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. 3/4. Probably not.
Whenever it attacks?
Yeah.
You think that could see commander play?
Probably.
Just for like a reanimator deck that uses little creatures and is white?
I want to see if we can look. Let's look at these flip cards, double face cards. So we've got the first one. Legion's Landing, legendary enchantment for a white. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire with lifelink. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform Legion's Landing. And it transforms into Adonto the First Port. Legendary land, tap to add white to your mana pool, pay 2 and a white to create a 1/1 vampire creature token.
What was the flip clause?
You have to attack with 3 creatures? 3 or more creatures.
Okay, so it's only 1 mana to put out, which I think is kind of redeeming. Does it have any other abilities on its front side other than flipping?
Well, when it comes into play, you make a 1/1 vampire, and it's a 1 mana enchantment. So,
and it's just an enchantment, so it's pretty hard to remove. I think a lot of these are going to be super commander playable.
Probably. This feels like it probably is a commander set, but it looks like we've got matches ready. So let me go find out what we've got. Is this the table we're gonna watch?
I guess cost double isn't too bad in standard environment. I think viewing their hand before is so big that I think the cost doubling is worth it.
This will be fun. We've got Josh Snow.
Both green sleeves?
Green sleeves.
Okay, and Josh Snow is the one with the white shorts.
Yeah, no playmat. Are they both playing green sleeve with green sleeves?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. We're not going to watch that match.
Paul versus
Josh.
So it's lands against...
Lands against miracles.
I mean...
I like.
Oh,
I
his name is Paul, not Lands.
I personally like watching Paul play Lands. And Josh Snow is also one of the better Miracles players that I've seen.
You're right, but
So
we're in for a long match.
not necessarily. Josh could not draw a Swords to Plowshares, and Paul could make a really fast Merit Lage.
There we go.
Wow, all the dice. Let's see if they're playing poker dice.
Oh my gosh.
I think they're playing poker dice because
When people do
Josh
this,
got a 4 of a kind. Let's see what Paul gets. 2 pair, 6 high. So Josh going first. Except I think that they're just adding their dice up.
when people do this, it gives me such a headache. I
Rolling
would rather
really
play
dice.
with 1 die than 5. I know
I like playing poker dice. I don't know that we're playing poker dice.
I don't know
If
how
they're
to play
playing poker dice, Josh won. But if they weren't, Paul won. So we'll just see who went first. We'll see who goes first, and we'll know.
I don't know how to play poker.
Paul
There, I said
got
it.
mulligan. It's not hard.
I'm sure it's not.
It's fun.
Disagreed.
All right. You can be wrong.
I can be.
You're allowed to be wrong. This is America.
Yeah. Oh, I need to change like the.
Yep, it's not 1-to-1. It's 0-to-0. So it looks like both players going to take some mulligans.
I was hoping to see a little more goblins. I'm kind of miffed that it
Kind of just got pooped on.
Yeah, I got knocked out game 1, or yeah, the first game of the night. Ray will do that though.
There's like 10 things to know to play poker. That might be a little hyperbolic if you're like talking about playing poker well. But yeah, there are like 10 rules in poker. I have a like a big briefcase of poker chips.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you helped me move it. You'll have to come play Texas Hold'em with me sometime.
Okay, you'll have to force me. Oh, or have food. That works most of the time.
I'll cook dinner.
Okay, you've got me.
Maybe make some shoyu ramen.
Oh.
Yeah. Michelin star quality.
I eat a lot of food. I'm a big boy.
So it looks like Josh mulligan to 5?
I think that the probe matters in any format that fetch lands are in.
Yeah, I think that card's definitely probably not at its best in standard. I'm sure there'll be a few things that you want to use it against, but that card being able to make it turn 1 off a soul land is going to be really relevant.
You see Josh's hand?
No.
It's just cantrips. It is 2 lands and a cantrips.
Gamble.
Paul
Exploration and gamble.
Paul going crazy.
So you probably get life from the loam, right?
That's usually the get. If you're not getting life from the loam, you're getting either Dark Depths or Thespian Stage.
A little alliteration. I think that this card probably won't get played over Pithing Needle unless you have Soul Lands in your deck, right?
I think that it's going to vary. I think some people actually will.
Josh with the poker dice again. He's just rolling dice.
I think it was odd even.
Oh, they were figuring out what the discard card is, but yeah, the decks that will be playing it over the Pithing Needle should be decks that can make it on turn 1. I think I agree. Like, if you can't make it on turn 1 off a Soul Land, I think you just want Pithing Needle. Like, I don't really like tapping out for it. On turn 2?
Pithing Needle, a lot of the time, it doesn't matter if it comes in turn 1. Does it?
I mean, in the matchups you want it against, I think so.
I think it's fine just like...
I mean, it's fine late, too, but in the matchups you want it in, like, I think you want it as early as possible, because those are typically the unfair decks that are going to try to do something unfair fast.
So he either went and got Dark Depths, or he got this life from the loam.
I don't know that I can answer that question.
I want to say most decks play
I feel
Needle.
like a lot just usually will have one floating in their sideboard.
Yeah.
Like, it's not uncommon.
I think that...
Maybe it's just the local thing. We just have... Most people
Maybe.
usually seem to have at least one needle in their sideboards. Just
Legacy is just so much a
for
format.
catch-all.
It's a format of activated abilities more than modern, more than standard. Like, there's a lot of activated abilities we care about. So I think that a lot of people are running at least one, and it's just good. Like, Pithing Needle is so skill testing because you have to know what to name, and it takes away the skill.
Jorgensen says you run it in most legacy sideboards that don't have Chalice.
The Pithing Needle?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
I think that, have we established at this point that what Jorgensen says is
most of the time he's right.
Is gospel?
So, Paul just wastelanded a fetch land.
Right, which I like. But
oh yeah,
Josh just gonna go ahead and fetch right away. I mean, when you've got your engine going with expedition map plus life from the loam, I like just forcing him to use it.
You mean exploration?
What?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Expedition map. That's fine.
No, I mean life from the loam. Because he's got life from the loam.
Yeah.
He's got wasteland and life from the loam, right? Like his engine going with the life from the loam and the... Because he's getting back his wastelands every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like...
You just said expedition map and life from the loam.
Oh, ha! Okay, I just said it wrong. I meant exploration.
You're right.
Yeah. That's what I meant. But also, too, like, here, like, how much better is this brainstorm if he's got a fetch land to go with it, right?
Yeah.
So just, like, forcing him to crack his fetch lands when he doesn't want to is just, like, a small advantage that you're just eking away from your opponent.
Josh had brainstorm in hand, and he just went ahead and fetched without brainstorming.
Well, he thought about the brainstorm. He reached for the brainstorm. He thought about it.
He just liked his hand.
He just decided that it wasn't the time for the brainstorm, which I also like from Josh as well.
I think that just shows how good he is. That's something I can't do.
Intuitively, you just think, I need to fire off this brainstorm now to get the value out of it.
Yeah.
But oftentimes that's a mistake that players will make, is that the brainstorm is just better the longer the game goes.
Josh leaves Wasteland on top of Paul's deck with the...
Punishing Fire, going to tick down the Jays. So interesting here. Do you think that Josh Fate Sealing means that he's trying to get this game over with, or that he's just conceding to the fact that Punishing Fire is there? And he just wants to try to keep the Jace alive and keep the Punishing Fires pointed at the Jace? I think it's a mix of both. I think that you want to try to get that ultimate off to try to end this game, and then you can't just brainstorm for a while, otherwise this Punishing Fire just kills Jace, right?
I think that's the case.
Hmm.
Alright, untap, and he's going to be able to activate Jace another time.
So, I mean, Jace's not going to ultimate, but... No, he's just going to brainstorm.
Alright, so he does have the...
So that makes me curious then about the decision to Fate Seal there and then brainstorm here. I don't cast very many Jaces, so I'm not quite...
Okay, so I think that at the point that he Fate Sealed Paul, he did not yet have Thespian Stage in his yard. And he left a Wasteland on top to try to stall out to hopefully keep Paul off of the combo. Sure. And then he dredged and found it anyway.
Oh, I missed that Thespian Stage there. So, yeah. Nope. Yep, Josh needs to dig for an answer here now. So, which he found is Swords to Plowshares. Here's a Monastery Mentor.
All right, so Monastery Mentor can erase the 20 life gain off of the Dark Depths.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can do it.
So this is why I wanted to watch this match. Seeing two players that are naturally good players, but also just very good at playing their deck.
So do you like what's it called? Force of Willing this Life from the Loam that's going to happen to buy yourself a turn and
just get a trigger?
And just get a trigger?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. No, he's just going to go for swords.
Well, yeah, but it's going to happen again if he doesn't Force of Will.
Right. I think I'm fine with that. Like, what else are your forces doing this matchup anyway?
Nothing.
Like maybe you snag a gamble or, you know, something like that. But the spells that matter here, he's just going to keep casting that Punishing Fire, that Life from the Loam. I like forcing it just to get the extra token in play and increase your clock.
Yeah.
And Paul at 40 here, so...
Was that 3 Thespian stages?
2 Ghost Quarters and 1 Thespian stage, I
okay.
think. So the Loam and targeting Ghost Quarter, Thespian stage, Merit Lage. So yeah, Force of Will. Pitching, thinking about Brainstorm. Got Snapcaster Mage pulled to the front.
Yeah, I like Snapcaster Mage as a discard.
I like Brainstorm just because you want to have the big go-off turn. Ooh, Punishing Fire. Going to take down the Mentor, though.
In response, though. Yeah, it's kind of rough, but...
Yeah.
Another Force of Will. All right. So Josh... Does he not... He doesn't go get a basic. Is he out of basics?
Was there a Ghost Quarter?
Oh, no, that was a Wasteland. That was a Wasteland.
Ah, yeah.
So 1 trigger. These are 2 2s. Able to do 6.
Looking at a Predict and I think 2 lands. And I believe he still has a Brainstorm in hand as well, so gonna be able to get another trigger. Oh, and the Brainstorm off the Jace.
Yeah. And so he has a fetch land in case he doesn't, if he wants to, you know, get into more cantrips or whatever.
Fate Seal, and that was a Dark Depth, so I think leave that on the top, right?
I'm not...
Because, I mean...
Paul has everything he wants right now.
Right, so just keep something there.
I think that was more to keep Jace alive.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I agree with that. You're right.
So...
No? Was there something in play that I didn't miss? Why was there no attack? Do they have vigilance? No, they just didn't attack.
I don't know why they didn't attack.
Counterspell again on the Life from the Loam.
So that protects Josh's lands. Pretty soon here he's going to be able to hardcast Force of Wills.
That's really curious, though. I'm trying to...
Figure out why he didn't attack. I don't think there's a Dark Depths in play.
Something that we're missing, but...
I don't know.
Predict. I think he knows what the next card is, so I think he's going to get the name off Predict, right? It looks like Paul thinking about responding. So, yep, he's going to name Polluted Delta, draw Monastery Mentor, and Force of Will. He going to fetch.
Oh, another Monastery Mentor is pretty good.
So I think oh, that was a Polluted Delta, right? Yeah, so he can't fetch basic planes. No, Terminus. That's what it was. It was Terminus.
Oh, okay.
So his hand, Terminus, Force of Will, Counterspell.
Finds another Terminus.
Brainstorming with Jace, sees Terminus, Swords to Plowshares, Counterspell.
Puts 2 Terminus on top.
Yeah, that seems fine. So now we're going to see an attack for 6. Drop Paul down to 34. Gonna get back that Punishing Fire. Gonna point it at the Jace.
I think that's why he plussed.
Yep. Just trying to keep the Jace alive. Keep the pressure off of the Monk tokens so that the Punishing Fire doesn't go to them.
It can die this turn.
It
can.
The
Jace.
Yeah, if Paul chooses to use his mana that way.
Josh is very starved on white mana.
Yes. Counterspell again for the Life from the Loam.
This is going to be happening.
Looks like he's going to respond to the Prowess trigger so that he can try to safely Punishing Fire something without them getting too big if Josh has another response.
Okay, that is the Jace.
Nope, going to attack a Jace, though. So yeah, Jace down. Monk tokens. I like killing Jace. Brainstorm. Trigger on the monks. 3 cards coming. 2 lands and a Terminus.
Terminus. What was the other card? Another Terminus?
2 lands and a Terminus. Oh, that he put back?
Yeah,
2
yeah.
Terminuses. In for 6. Down to 28.
Man, this is tough. Josh is whittling him away, but...
I think that Paul just has the inevitability here unless
I think he does.
Josh can find another Monastery Mentor. But Josh does have another Swords to Plowshares, so...
Oh, man.
He's got time. He's not, you know, against the wall yet, but he's slowly backing up against it.
So Josh is over 20. No, he's at 20 now.
Yes, he's at 20.
So before,
exactly.
he could take a punch in the face from Dark Depths.
Force of Will on the something. I'm assuming Life from the Loam.
I assume it's Life from the
Yeah,
Loam.
there's 2 mana there. So Life from the Loam was cast. Punishing Fire takes care of a monk.
How many cards do you think are left in Paul's deck?
I guess that's a factor too, huh? Wow. He can just deck himself.
He can
I'm
only
sure-
dredge so many times.
I'm sure that being a... Yeah, but I don't think that Josh has any of those cards besides the Terminus on top of his deck. Oh, he drew an Unexpectedly Absence, though. So that helps. So that with the... so he has a lot of answers. It's just that Paul needs to... If Paul makes the Merit Lage in his main phase, that means that Josh can just draw the Terminus naturally and flip it. So Paul needs to play around Terminus that way.
And he'll scoop it up.
Yeah, I think...
He just ran out of answers. Oh, man. Really drug it out there. I was hoping to see a turnaround.
I feel like he could have, you know? Like, he had the Unexpectedly Absent. He had the swords. I think at some point, though, like... You think about that. That's 6 cards just to try to get the combo back. You have to loam... You'll have to loam 3 times to play through the 2 answers that Josh had in hand. I mean, Paul is definitely running low on...
he had more than 9 cards in his deck, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Josh also has draw steps, right?
That's true.
It was definitely a concession for time, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's accurate.
I think that's fine. I think the probability of you playing to your opponent decking themselves in this situation is probably not the right move. Like, maybe Paul decks himself and maybe Josh draws hot and just keeps him off that Merit Lage long enough. But I think more than likely you should just go to the next game to try to finish this match on time.
You know what would be a good card for Josh to bring in? Spyglass.
Oh my god.
Just Pithing Needle's fine too.
I think this is a situation where you just want Pithing Needle.
Yeah.
Because you don't really need to know what's in their hand. You just know what you need to name against lands.
Against lands, yes.
Yeah, you just know what the name is, and so... Especially also because Josh can't make Spyglass on turn 1, and Paul could just make Merit Lage on turn 1. He could just have one of those lands hands where he just, like, barfs the hand. He's just like, here's my hand!
Yeah, with Mana Bond.
Mana Bond. You could just have a Mana Bond draw, and you're just like, nah, you know?
Force of Will. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely...
That's the answer to everything.
You always force the Mana Bond. You always force the Exploration.
So do you leave in Force of Will against lands?
Oh, no question, yeah.
Yeah.
Force of Will is normally terrible in these long, drawn-out matchups, and especially mid-range matchups, but lands is enough of a combo deck that you don't care about 2-for-1ing yourself. You just have to be able to get that out of the way.
So
some of the things they do.
I feel like we've gone back in time. There's 2 Miracles matches happening on the top tables.
Yeah. It looks like just good old Sultai.
Pointing. Your turn.
So we've got a Tarmogoyf. I can't really tell how big it is because of the glare, but I'm assuming it's at least a 4/5 or a 5/6.
You guys see that glitch?
No. Yes.
That's interesting.
I'm betting the Tarmogoyf is a 5/6.
And we are going to switch back over to the other match as soon as it starts.
Yeah, it looks like there's a Mentor. Yeah, that Goyf's a 5/6. Unless there's a Planeswalker, then it's probably a 6/7.
More pointing.
One of these Miracles decks is not like the other.
Yeah, one has counterbalance and the other one does not.
Last I saw, Josh was playing Counterbalance Soothsaying. Maybe took it out this week, but
yeah, I think that's the case.
Last I saw him, he did have them.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh. I think we go grab a drink after this match.
Yeah, these chairs are not good.
Super comfortable, and I love them.
Not.
See, trigger.
Tarmogoyf gonna crash in. Snapcaster Mage thinking about getting in front of it. No, maybe not. Maybe yes.
Tentatively.
Yeah, okay. Snapcaster Mage bites the dust.
How big have we determined that Tarmogoyf is?
I'm guessing it's a 5/6, unless there's a Planeswalker, then it's probably a 6/7. But because there's the counterbalance in there, like I can see instant sorcery, land, creature counterbalance, but I can't see the other player's graveyard, so I can't say for sure. Like there could very well be a Lily in there.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the other match. It looks like it's beginning.
Yeah. So players are looking at their 7s, and they both are keeping. And it'll be Island Portent for Josh to start up this second game.
Ooh, that's a shuffle. It looks like he didn't have any land in his opener.
Ooh, so
or he had one land.
A one-lander.
And he saw no land off of the Portent. So that's what he didn't want to see.
I feel like that's a risky keep when your only cantrip is Portent, unless he has another Portent.
Got there.
Or another cantrip. But I'm curious what else is in his hand that make keeping something like that. No, he has two. He had a polluted delta. He had 2 lands.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he had 2 lands.
I missed it. Ma B. Ma B.
So there's the exploration. Curious who we got a counterspell.
Do you think he has a second land?
Doesn't look like it. Who?
Paul.
Paul? Maybe.
There, he does.
Oof. Wow.
Ghost
Didn't
Quarter.
see that coming.
What is that? Back to basics at the front?
Back to basics is what I think Josh just drew.
That's a card.
So looking at surgical extraction, polluted delta, gonna draw surgical. That's some good insurance to have.
Definitely.
Flooded Strand is the play. And Mox Diamond is the draw for Paul. He's gonna untap and take his turn. Wasteland. Curious if he wants to get aggressive with his wastelands again, especially with Ghost Quarter as well.
Worked out pretty well last time.
A second exploration. Did those stack?
No.
Okay. So I guess not really doing anything in your hand, so might as well play it out. Sphere of Resistance, though.
All right.
So that's going to make things hard on Josh.
Oh, he drew a disenchant.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Redundant exploration.
They
do stack?
They do stack. Thorn of Amethyst also.
Huh.
Okay, cool. See, I wasn't sure. I knew that they had, a while back, they changed the rules on how these types of effects worked. I just remember it, but I'm not like super versed with it because I don't really play formats where that's relevant, and I don't play lands. So I just wasn't sure.
You right.
So Josh thinking about a brainstorm here. So it looks like Disenchant took down the Sphere of Resistance, but still underneath a Thorn of Amethyst. So, and it looks like he didn't have a 4th land.
You saw a Jace.
Otherwise, I think that the play here is just make your 4th land jam back to basics. But no 4th land, so I think that's what he brainstormed for, and I don't think he found it.
There's a cycle from Paul. I think that's another Sphere of Resistance that he just found.
Oof.
It's either that or a Mox Diamond.
So Josh gonna pay 2 life and a mana to cast Surgical Extraction. He's targeting his own Portent.
Just to shuffle.
Just to shuffle the chaff off the top of his library, because
Wow.
he needs to find a 4th land for this back to basics, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, but unfortunately...
High five!
Unfortunately, though, if that is a Sphere of Resistance...
I think it is a diamond. I think it's a diamond.
Well, he did have a Mox Diamond in hand from earlier that he hasn't played yet.
Okay, I think that's what I was saying.
So he did find a 4th land, but it is a Caracas.
But it is, and it's a Caracas.
Yeah, but that gets locked down under the back to basics. You probably don't care. You don't care. You're just trying to make that back to basics as soon as possible. And hoping that Paul taps all his mana this turn. And not for a Sphere of Resistance.
They changed something to do with how you choose extra lands to play.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it allowed you to play extra lands, remove. So I think what it was...
Okay. See, I couldn't remember how the rules change worked, but I remember there was a
I just looked this up, and I think this is how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I probably don't know.
When you play an extra land, you used to choose which effect you're playing that land off of.
Uh-huh.
So if you blinked a creature, you could now play an additional 2 lands. Or an additional land, right? If you blinked Exploration, in the old rules, you could play an additional land on top of everything else. New rules, it just adds to the total amount of extra lands you can play. So if you have 2 Explorations out, you can play 2 additional lands. If you blink one of those, you can still only have played 2 additional lands this turn.
That makes sense, so that sounds correct.
I could be wrong. I just Googled it 15 seconds ago and read it in probably 3 seconds. So...
Speed reader. Ooh, did a wasteland happen? Yep, a wasteland happened, which is rough, because Josh now trying to get... Or no, he unexpectedly absenced the Thorn of Amethyst, which means he can now make the back to basics underneath the sphere. So Paul gonna Ghost Quarter his own Taiga to get a basic forest so that he can still play Magic.
Probably looking for a Croson Grip sometime soon. That's kind of his out.
Yeah, or just make land drops. I mean, he always does have the option of just naturally making land drops and kind of just naturally playing out the combo. I think because Josh's Caracas is wastelanded, so that's not really something that he needs to worry about.
Right.
Also, no, he didn't play Caracas, I don't think.
Oh no, he played that.
He played the Tundra.
I'm so bad at dueling.
I thought I saw Caracas in his graveyard though. Maybe it's still in his hand. We'll have to see. No, not in his hand. So it did get wasted away. But he does have a Swords to Plowshares. And
Counterspell.
And
Snapcaster Mage.
And a Surgical Extraction.
Oh.
So I think Josh in a good position here. Because Paul's going to have to tap pretty low on resources to make the Merit Lage. He's going to have to try to naturally draw it at this point too.
Yeah. So a 3 for Snap, Caster Mage.
And 2 for Ponder.
In his main phase. That's cool. Cool. Jace, Monastery Mentor.
Island.
Monastery Mentor, worse under Sphere of Resistance, but not terrible.
It's a fast clock. I think it's what you... Well, he draws the island. I'm sure he's got either Jace or Monastery Mentor on the top, obviously. But I'm curious which one he put on top.
And you feel pretty self-assured because you don't think Paul is gonna Ghost Quarter you. That's something I'd be concerned with what card I put in my hand.
Yeah. So Tireless Tracker the play though for Paul, and he's gonna make a Thespian stage, get a clue. These clues not really gonna do much though underneath this back to basics.
Right.
Because having to tap 2 to sacrifice it.
And it's interesting that's the card he chose to be like, this is the card I want to use all of these lands on. They're now like Lotus Petals. He gets 1 use out of them, correct?
Yeah. So it looks like Josh wanted Jace on top. So probably thinking that Monastery Mentor not having great returns underneath the sphere. So Jace being the more efficient clock.
And he puts Paul's top card on bottom with Fate Seal. Reminding Paul you do not get to untap with anything but that forest.
He drew the red thing that throws lands or whatever it does. I always forget what it's called. Molten Vortex.
Yeah, okay. The way I find that card name is I go to Sulfuric Vortex and then I take a left.
So he gonna tap both of his lands.
Oh, he taps it's basically tapping Thespian Stage to draw a card.
Right. it's like, yeah, like you're saying, cracking one of your Lotus Petals.
It's a lot of non-basics to commit to a creature. So,
But,
yeah.
I mean, if you don't have anything to do with your mana, I feel like you gotta do it. But now this Tireless Tracker, though, gonna start getting big. Which means that the Snapcaster Mage can't profitably block it. It's gonna pressure the Jace, and it's gonna force Josh to have a removal spell of some kind.
And
Which he does. There's a Swords to Plowshares. And Paul's gonna say, yeah, let's do game 3.
Nice. We're gonna go to round 3. Or game 3.
2 very exciting games.
Uh-huh. Paul did have quite a few bad draws there, but at the end, Jace was ensuring that they were bad.
His draw was a little slower and clunkier, but I think not under back to basics. It was a completely serviceable hand. Like, definitely not bad. Just that back to basics, you know?
Yeah.
Forcing him to go Ghost Quarter himself, you know, essentially 2-for-1ing himself just to get a forest in play.
Yeah.
Was hard on him, and it's just hard for them to operate under the back to basics.
That's a bad fetch land.
Yeah, that's a really bad fetch land.
Man, those surgicals are so good in this matchup. I was super surprised to see Josh fire off a surgical.
On
himself.
On himself.
Just to
get that shuffle.
Because I prioritize those. I almost am just like, fine. Do whatever you want. I'm just going to sit on the surgical, and eventually I'll exile one of your engines. Then you just have to naturally draw something.
Yeah.
I guess when he fires off his first Life from the Loam, it's too late, and he's gotten so much value. So, yeah. I'm just glad I got to see that play. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. That was a lot of non-intuitive plays happening from both players, though, that ended up being really good decisions. So again, just seeing the value of just knowing your deck inside and out that, you know, comes from this format.
All right. I'm going to check in on the other match just real quick. Yeah, it's still going. That is a match that is still going. What just happened here? I don't see what he just glared, or what the glare card that just got pyroblasted.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
Either. See, ponder. Man, seeing how hard Josh had to fight to find those lands, though. I think he definitely deserved to win. Like,
yeah, I mean, Josh was on a game plan, and
it was a Jace. Ooh, that is a good pyroblast.
That's a good target. I like trading 1 mana for 4.
And a card advantage engine for 1 drop, man.
Seems good. All right, it looks like both players are looking at their opening 7s.
Josh mulliganing?
Yep. Josh going down to 6. Looks like Paul is keeping his 7.
See a Thespian Stage,
I see
Grove.
see Exploration. I think I see a Gamble.
So Josh keeping, scrolling to the bottom.
And I think there's a Force of Will in Josh's hand. So he's going to gain a life from the Grove. So not going to force the Exploration. I think his only other blue card was the Back to Basics, though. So
No.
Oh no, there's another blue card there. I can't.
There's Brainstorm.
Brainstorm, Force, and Back to Basics are his blue cards, and there's an Unexpectedly Absent and a couple lands. So I think hoping that there's no taxing effects, and then he can just jam this back to basics as soon as possible.
Well, there's one.
And there's the Thorn. That's probably what you're saving your Force of Wills for, right?
It's definitely serviceable. It looks like he's gonna
he's just gonna let it resolve. Okay.
Has a Jace.
So Josh definitely has a target in mind for Force of Will, though. He's neglected to fire it off on 2 things that I would have snapped it off on.
That's why I don't play counter spells.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to defer to Josh's judgment here on this one.
There's also a Snapcaster Mage in Josh's hand.
And a Jace the Mind Sculptor. So, I mean, plenty of blue cards that he can pitch away to the Force of Will. He just has something very specific in mind.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to rack my brain. I mean, I feel like Mana Bond's not great here because
just a Dark Depths play would kind of just win this for Paul. Doesn't have it in hand though.
Yeah. I'm really curious what
finds a Plains.
What Josh is prioritizing these Force of Wills.
Can Unexpectedly Absent hit non-creatures?
Yeah. It can hit non-land permanents. So it can take care of one of these threats here.
He just have double white.
Yeah. But I feel like you like saving the Unexpectedly Absent for
Merit Lage?
Merit Lage, because right now it's his only answer to the Merit Lage.
Yeah.
So Ponder, gonna draw an island.
And that is a second white if he needs it.
Right. Also, he found a 4th land, so that means if there's no other taxing effects, this back to basics is going to come down.
Back to basics is 3, and then 1 extra.
So Wasteland, going to hit this... going to get an island, though. Not going to go for a dual land.
Yeah, lots of people still play Miracles, apparently.
So I think his play here is going to be Island, jam back to basics. And he just drew a basic Plains, too, which means that his Unexpectedly Absent is going to be turned on.
There's a joke there.
What?
Nothing.
What joke?
Don't worry about it.
I must know. I don't care. So...
with this many lands in play,
Paul is back to basics on the stack?
No, I thought Paul drew his card for turn.
Okay, yeah. So, reaching for 3. A Life from the Loam, maybe? Oh, Tireless Tracker.
I thought that cost an extra mana.
Is
no,
Thorn,
Thorn is non-creature.
Thorn is non-creature.
You're right.
Yeah. I'm surprised I knew that.
Yeah.
So here's Monastery Mentor. I think this Mentor is going to be great here. So those not untapping.
Yeah, it has Force of Will to protect it.
Is that a Barbarian Ring there?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So if he has Threshold, he can hit it.
He can shoot the Mentor. But I don't think he's close to Threshold. Only looks like 2 cards.
So that Life from the Loam should have cost 3.
Yes.
That's fine. Just leave it.
Just leave him?
Yeah, at this point, I like just letting players play whatever. I'm just saying, probably should have cost 3.
Yeah, that should have cost 3. Well, that's going to be huge, though, because that means he's going to be able to make a basic forest. That's like a really big play. I'm going to let him know. Does the Barbarian Ring tap for mana?
Yeah, red.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
We'll just say that... Well, no, it matters, because that Barbarian Ring should be tapped.
I like feeling more like this is a documentary, and... You observe and do not intervene.
Yeah, that would have been super relevant going forward, and it's an easy fix. Just tap the Barbarian Ring.
Okay. But I kind of like, you know, when you're doing a nature documentary and you're watching a cheetah eat a gazelle, and you're like, I feel bad for the gazelle, but
I'm not going to stop it.
Let's let nature take its course. We're here to observe.
Nah, I don't know. I disagree.
I wonder what chat thinks. Intervene or just let nature take its course?
I think that for the integrity of the game, we should try to intervene wherever possible and correct things.
Okay.
But just my opinion. Another flooded
We just have to be
strand.
very sure that we're not wrong on these things. Like that time we intervened on Lotus Petal.
Right, but luckily the players were smarter than us and just
like,
looked at us
no.
like a couple of idiots. Like, no, you're dumb. Get back in the booth. So, unexpectedly absent for 0. Gonna just put the tireless tracker away.
No, it's for 1.
Oh, is it for 1?
Yeah.
Oh, he paid 4 for it. Okay, for some reason I just thought I saw him tap 3 mana. Yeah, maintain game state within reason. If it's gonna be way too difficult to correct, you know, we'll let the players know afterwards the mistake, but no sense in trying to correct him there. If there's no way to correct it, like, we can leave it. But if the fix is just as simple as tapping an extra land, you know, because having that Barbarian Ring untapped,
let the gazelle die,
would have been really, really. No, we like we like the gazelle, because the gazelle in this case is Josh.
What if you're watching a nature documentary and then the cameraman ran in and was like booga booga and scared away the cheetah? Would you still watch that? This is not a nature documentary.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, this isn't a nature documentary. So I think Paul just drawing the Croson Grip. I don't think you make tireless. I don't think you cast a spell. You hope that, like, you don't die to Monastery Mentor next turn and you draw Croson Grip.
Oh, okay.
But then I don't know.
Damned cameraman. Oh, he just.
I guess
out.
he just feels like he needs to block. Yeah, Force of Will, gonna just hard cast, get a trigger. 1 card left though for Josh. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Tap 6 for that.
Yeah, he did.
I'm just gonna be the policeman now. The policeman cameraman.
Booga booga booga, guys!
Save the gazelle.
So in for 4. Unless there's something else.
Or like if the cameraman gave the gazelle a bag of catnip, that's unethical. Here we see a Snapcaster Mage in its natural environment. Miracles.
Observe as the wild Josh makes a brainstorm. Why are the cameramen or nature documentarians all British?
It's
Can't they also be Morgan Freeman?
No, they could also be Snoop Dogg, but you ever see that?
Snoop Dogg narrates the National Geographic.
Oh, jeez. So Josh
Dang,
taking it.
That's a crocodile.
Let's go to this convoluted board state.
So I think we've got Miracles versus some sort of Sultai thing. Sultai control. I don't see red. Here's Toxic Deluge. Curious, what do you pay for Toxic Deluge? I didn't see where his what his life total was before he changed it. It's because they're all David Attenborough.
That's the word, David Attenborough.
That's the word. You mean that's the person, the name?
No!
The word is David Attenborough. So it looks like... Or did the Monastery Mentor die? I can't tell because you keep putting screens in front of the screen.
Cry more.
So I didn't see what happened. But
It's over now.
All right, no one cares. Go back to your lives, people.
I'm just
Well,
trying to set up.
boom! That's round 2 in the books. Here at Paragon City Games, the place where heroes play.
I'm gonna go grab a liquid.
Okay. I'm gonna sit here awkwardly and try to converse with the chat. It really wouldn't. The cheetah would likely bugger off. I love that you said that. Does that mean you're from the UK? They're not equipped to fight anything, so they often get kills stolen. Huh. Hat's not the word. Everyone knows that bird is the word. Yeah, Sean was just wrong. That wasn't the word. He was off base there. He was as wrong on that as I was about the floor. So players just looking at their sideboards, talking about stuff, reading cards. So fun game. When you get two really experienced Lands and Miracles players, the games are really interesting. The decisions are just so deep and just so far out of my range of thinking, you know? Like surgicaling my own portent just to get a shuffle off my brainstorm, like that's definitely not a play that's on my radar, you know? Just a moment. What do you want?
David Attenborough to cast magic with me.
So we've decided that you were wrong. David Attenborough is not the word. That's just the name. And bird is the word. Jorgensen said it's gospel.
I knew someone was going to say that.
It's gospel now. Bruh, my phone is blowing up and I'm sick of it.
Oh no, I'm so popular!
But it's just Glenn and Calvin in the group chat. And for those who don't know Glenn or Calvin, they're just both kind of just a couple of idiots.
One's a nerd and one's a troll.
I do like Calvin.
All Magic players are nerds.
And trolls.
Only a certain percentage are trolls.
I appreciate that you guys enunciate well. Was watching another MTG stream and they were speaking quietly with a bunch of vocal fry and it was... Well, I'm just naturally loud.
And I talk well naturally as well. That's my vocal fry impression.
You're who?
Vocal fry?
I don't know what that is.
So... It's when you do that thing with your voice.
Make our faces big, because I like looking at myself.
I'm also impersonating a Valley Girl a little bit. I'm not very
Valley
good at...
Girl, she's a Valley Girl. Those are the only lyrics to that song I know.
Oh. Yeah, vocal fry... It's hard to explain. Maybe I'll show... If I find some, I'll show it to you.
Okay. I've never even heard of this.
It's kind of when you go...
like...
like... Ring Girl has the worst vocal
Or like
fry.
Tina Belcher from Bob's Burgers. Time just got called in something, and I'm assuming it was Legacy.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
But not where Tina just goes, It's like at the end of words, you know?
Oh, okay. So it's like that.
Yeah.
Like you kind of stumble on yourself. Where's the decline? I found it.
What? Why are we opening MS Word?
No! No! I thought that was the thing for the stuff.
Let's write an essay. What are we doing?
The thing!
What thing?
The decline. That's the only thing I can think of.
Is
that
an English word?
No, it's Hawaiian Pidgin, and it's the only word I know that could have described what I was trying to say. Because decline...
Type words.
Decline is decline, and that's decline. It's the word that means just about anything.
What's Daria?
I think that was like...
Is that short for diarrhea?
No.
Oh.
Daria. I think that was like a... What was that like teenage version of Nickelodeon? Where you got to watch like As Told by Ginger and that other stupid show. Maybe that... I feel like that was something on that channel. I don't know.
I thought that was Nickelodeon.
Well, they had like a Nickelodeon.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay, yeah. Well, I wasn't old enough in the '90s to watch.
I've
MTV.
seen pictures of this and like memes of this.
This is what okay. So this is what I was thinking of, but I guess it's just not on the Nickelodeon thing like I was talking about. But yeah, that was what I was thinking of. I just didn't know where it was.
It's got a really
findable.
It's got like a comic strip style art.
I just wanted that other one pulled up so we could see when pairings were going
Go
on.
watch Daria.
Seriously. I have such a whoa, magic started. Holy monkeys. See, that's why I wanted the thing up, the decline.
They never said anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to...
It's okay. We're
well,
sorry,
some
guys.
magic is happening.
You youngsters, I'm having a jammer. Back in my day when we watched Daria on MTV after a music video.
Oh, was it on MTV?
That's what they said.
Oh, you're right. Yoda Muppet just said that, in fact.
No, it's not. These guys just started playing magic and he freaked out.
Okay, this is not real magic.
It's for casuals. They're on turns.
They're on turns.
They're on turn 3. Thank you. So they're on turns.
Oh.
So this is not a real match. Or this is a real match and they just brought it over here for us, which is kind of them.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe this is a real match. No, because this is the player that was just playing. They're playing again for funsies.
Yeah, because I was going to say,
Yeah.
why would
I
you
recognize
keep
the Kali
playing
test.
if you're on turn 3 on this board state?
You kids make me sick. Get off my lawn! That's how I'll be in like a year.
I'll get off your lawn when you get off your jazzy.
You know, I don't even have a lawn yet, so I spend too much money on avocado toast to ever own a house. I love me some avocado toast.
Oh, gosh. Is that even political? I mean,
Yummy.
it's such just like, more like political troll than...
It's definitely just like kind of an old grumpy guy, just like with the get off my lawn mentality of just like, you millennials, you just buy avocado toast, because that sounds like something you do.
Is that guy even that old? I mean, I didn't
know,
actually
he's
watch
probably
the
old.
thing.
He's probably old.
I know he's super rich,
I ain't scared. He old.
and he's never tasted avocado toast, because anyone who tasted avocado toast would never tell millennials to stop eating it.
So here's the deal, though.
So good for
Think about how much a loaf of bread costs, right? Like $1.
Yeah.
How much do a couple avocados cost? You can get like a pound of avocados for like $1.40. Bro, do you know how much avocado toast you can make off like a pound of avocados?
How much does a slave making it for you cost, though? That's what you're paying for.
Why are we paying for slaves?
Because you just show up to Starbucks and you're like, yo, avocado toast me, and throw money at them?
No, see, you don't get your avocado toast from Starbucks like some sort of hipster wannabe. You make it yourself like a real hipster. I actually made some good avocado toast, right? So you get your toast, a thicker piece of toast, right? I usually go with like a sourdough. That's good. And you just kind of lightly go over that, coat that in some olive oil, salt, pepper, throw it onto the burner for a minute, get it nice and toasty on both sides, get a nice thin layer of cream cheese, your avocado, some tomato, maybe like a bit of like...
Did you say tomato?
Yeah, because I'm being fancy now, so I'm going to say tomato, and like just a spritz of maybe like some feta cheese. Ooh, delicious. And cheap.
Do you know what I like for dinner?
Tell me.
Baked potato.
You guys literally just made his argument.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I want to look up the guy that said that now.
You need that good bread for $2.50. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're gonna go for the avocado toast, you can't buy the cheap dollar bread. You've got to buy like some good bread.
Wow.
I'll admit, like, I'm pretty frugal with my money, except for like when it comes to food.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that, and you can spend a lot of money on food.
I will pay a premium to eat better food. So I think Legacy pairings, it sounds like, are just going up. They had to redo the pairings, so this match may change.
So I'm going to pop up the other one so we can see both and see what's going to go on.
Do we want to watch Ray, or do we want to watch Paul on lands again?
Food easy night.
I kind of want to watch Check Pile. So it looks like our choices are Sultai Control versus lands, or we can watch Check Pile versus Miracles.
I like watching Check Pile.
We haven't seen that yet. We've seen all three of these other players on camera so far. I guess we saw a glimpse of Ray when he was beating up goblins.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough to like.
Yeah, because I don't feel like we focused at all on the match. We just discussed whether or not Thalia being in the deck was viable or not based on Vorthos.
And I named off a whole bunch of goblin cards. I pay a premium to eat better food when other people are making it. It's hot garbage when I make it, though.
See, I like to cook.
You're good at it.
I love to cook.
I can make rice and like eggs. Any breakfast item I can make, as long as it's not like avocado toast or anything. It's like I can make like pancakes and eggs.
So maybe Ray not playing? Nope. So it looks like they were repairing. I think this is Bryce. That looks like Bryce's head. I'll know from the hands.
It's not Rich, is it?
That's Rich.
That's Rich!
Oh, that's Rich. That's Rich.
So Jund against
Jund
Miracles.
against Miracles. This will be fun.
We're gonna watch that?
Yeah. Let's watch this. We haven't seen Rich in a long time either. I kind of took his place here on the... Ooh, and a good Eggs Benedict. Ooh. Yeah, I cooked Eggs Benedict the other week for breakfast. It was delicious. The secret to a good Eggs Benedict is that you get your water to a rolling boil and then stir it just before you put the egg into the water. And what that does is that just wraps the white around the yolk. And when you pull that out, you get like a nice little mozzarella ball. It just looks like a little mozzarella ball. It's just perfect. Ooh.
I made a pear and goat cheese tart with rosemary and local raw honey for my last work potluck.
That sounds fantastic.
Ooh, double sixes. So
Josh got one pair.
He gets to roll again, and if he rolls another doubles, then he goes straight to jail.
Oh man, I'm really hungry. I didn't notice how hungry I was.
Is to pay a chef to make them, lol.
Yeah. You know what, Jorgensen? I would gladly cook you Eggs Benedict if you paid me.
So Thoughtseas, Wasteland, the black-white fetch thing.
Marsh Flats.
Yeah, thank you.
So Rich with the... Rich is playing Commander here, though. Not really. He just triple sleeves his deck because... I think he just likes his sleeves, is what he told me. I was like, why do you... Is it because your deck is, like, all foil? And he's just like, no, I just really like these Warcraft sleeves, and they're the kind that get ruined when you shuffle them, so I triple sleeved my deck.
Yeah, the third sleeve is for the sleeve. Yeah. It's not for the Magic card anymore.
It's not to protect your cards at this point.
By the way, isn't it weird? This Jund deck has, like, matching art. Isn't that, like, the most curious thing?
Yeah, that is a bit different from what we're used to with matching art.
So that's a pretty white-looking hand, with a Force of Will just kind of sitting there in it.
Yeah, that's not a good Force of Will, and that's not a great Terminus either. Couple of dead cards here, and the Force of Will the Thoughtseize is gonna take care of the Monastery Mentor, which I think is pretty good there, and Wasteland gonna put Josh down to a single basic island.
Yeah.
And he drew another Monastery Mentor.
Just white.
The old Moto bug. I don't know. We just blame everything on the Moto bug.
That's fair.
I think that Moto as a whole is a bug. Like, just that program. It's just one giant bug. right?
Yeah,
Probably.
that's fair.
You've had a ticket in there to fix something for like months.
2.
2 months. Yeah.
I haven't tested it this patch, so I'm kind of excited to actually go home and test that.
What was it again? Something for Popper.
Thornbow Archer.
Oh, Thornbow Archer makes your opponent gain a life instead of lose a life.
Yeah. So it becomes
there
literally
goes the other
unplayable.
Monastery Mentor. But both players on just one land. Unless Rich has a follow-up land. Oh, he does. He's got.
Oh,
a
he's
couple.
got plenty.
Yeah, he's got a couple. I'm just getting ahead of myself.
So is this the second blue card? What did he draw there?
It looks like he drew another white card.
Oh.
Another Monastery Mentor. Or no, he took the Swords to Plowshares. So same Monastery Mentor.
So here's a Bob.
Not sure what he drew, but that's a counterspell. Bobby gonna hit a 0, but 2 lands off the top for Rich. So I actually think he's pretty flooded here.
Bob will help out with that, though.
Bob will help get him through it. And it's got some clock. And Rich has a 3rd Thoughtseize. Not gonna fire it off, though. Curious. Maybe just thinking that like he's got plenty of time on it until, you know, he sees another land out of Josh, then he'll fire it off.
He has enough land that he can fire it off the same turn that he fires off a spell that he wants to resolve.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So protecting a spell. Yeah. You're right. Which he does. He has this Liliana the Veil, so I think...
Okay, he doesn't have triple black, does he?
No. So he's just going to slam the Liliana, and it's going to get hit by Counterspell. So I think this gives Rich perfect information. I think the unknown card was Counterspell.
No,
there's one other card he doesn't know. It's been 2 draw steps.
There's another white. So unexpectedly absent and now active.
Mm-hmm.
Wasteland.
So, Wasteland off Dark Confidant, and Liliana the Veil's the other draw. So I like hitting them in that order. Hitting the Wasteland off the Bob and then drawing the Lily. That's nice.
So he's going to cut him off of double white.
And in response, he's going to unexpectedly absent the Bob.
Doesn't feel too bad.
I think you just jam Lily.
Yeah.
Because you have close to perfect information. But Josh looks like he has a blue card. Nope, no, sorry. Liliana resolved. Terminus went to the bin.
Okay. I was really hoping that Josh would draw a predict there to get that Bob off of the top and draw 2 cards. That would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, that would have been cool. So, 2 mana. Here comes the Dark Confidant again. And maybe Josh wants to force this? No. Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize after the Bob.
Maybe thinking that Thoughtseize is what he'd rather resolve because he does know that there's a Monastery Mentor in Josh's hand. He did know about that from the last Thoughtseize. So maybe wanting to bait a potential Force of Will. But then again, if your opponent's forcing your Thoughtseize, you feel really good too. So
Rich putting a Punishing Fire in the graveyard with 2 Grove of the Burn Willows sitting there.
And Josh is going to make a Naked Snapcaster Mage to pressure the Liliana. At least get 1 hit in before it dies to the Punishing Fire. Slow the clock down to that ultimate.
Says you gain a life. I'm going to put Punishing Fire in my hand.
Ooh, Bob going to hit a Goyf. That's a good one. That's kind of the pressure that Rich needs, and just got to kind of hope that he fades the Terminus.
He's getting...
He's at 9? Yeah. Like, I feel like at this point, like, maybe you like sitting on your Dark Confidant because of Liliana, but do you die to your Dark Confidant before you can get your Liliana? So I think at this point, it's not as much of a race against Josh as much as it is a race against his Dark Confidant. Like, he's got to get Josh dead before Bob gets Rich dead.
Lily can shut it off. And Punishing Fire.
True. Yeah, true. He's got a lot of ways to deal with it.
Ooh. So that's going to have to get shut off.
Yeah.
Pretty soon here. He's at 6.
And I think that he drew a Hymn to Turok. And I think that Josh down to 1 card in hand. It's a Terminus, I believe. No, he's probably pitched all the Terminuses. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, thank you for using the Tarmodie that we can't read. So, Lily up to 5, discard the Hymn. Away with the Jace. Jace going to make Goyf huge, though. Did they count the Jace? Oh, no, there was already a Liliana in the plane. Yeah, there was already a Planeswalker. So Rich not even going to take the chance. He's just going to kill the Dark Confidant.
Yeah. He doesn't want his... We do have Goyf rocks. It's right there, and we can't read it.
They're just smaller than the regular dice, so they're harder for us to read. So Punishing Fire going to deal a damage.
Zoom and enhance.
Punishing Fire going to gain him back a life. Or Grove going to gain him back a life, but get back the Punishing Fire. Well, good. I don't think we did anything, but...
well, the...
Game 1 goes to Rich.
Our upload rate right now is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but last week it was really bad. I went back and tried to watch a bit of the stream, and it was just almost unwatchable.
Okay, so the internet is not a big truck.
Why not?
It's a series of tubes.
Why not?
You can't just load a whole bunch of stuff up on the truck.
Yeah, but why not? I don't understand the internet.
Bits?
Oh, bits. You can put a lot of bits in a truck.
But it's tubes.
You could put a lot of tubes in a truck.
So that reminds me of... So the internet is so bad in parts of Africa that they put a 64 gigabyte flash drive, I think it was, or some kind of memory thing on a carrier pigeon and flew it from Africa back to England faster than you could transmit the same amount of information over the internet, because the internet is so slow there.
That's kind of crazy.
I think that's funny.
So
anyway.
These players reaching for sideboards. Rich is looking at Golgari Charm. Well, maybe not Golgari Charm. He has surgical extractions. Chose not to bring those in. I like not bringing in surgicals. It looks like he's just grabbing some Pyroblasts.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm a huge fan of having surgical against miracles. Some players like it. I don't like it. I don't board it in. Rich also electing not to board it in.
If you can hit the mentor in some builds, then all you have to worry about is Jace.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, that's maybe not worth it and a little bit narrow. You're diluting your deck for like a... Well, it's kind of worth it for a card that's like... What are you taking out? Not hand disruption.
Yeah, I don't know what you're taking
maybe
out
kill
for
spells?
It. Sure. There's a lot of Fatal Pushes and Lightning Bolts in Rich's deck. I think he's got 2 bolts and some number of pushes. Honestly, I don't remember. It's been months since I talked to Rich, actually, so I have no idea what could be going on in his deck. But
yeah.
Looks like he just grabbed 3 Pyroblasts from
I like that.
His main deck. What about Golgari Charm, though? It can kill one of the enchantments.
What enchantment?
Oh, I guess Josh. We haven't seen
Blood Moon?
We haven't seen Soothsaying out of Josh yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Rich just got the read on Josh, not thinking that he has Counterbalance or Soothsaying, and so.
I don't know if Rich has been playing enough lately to even think about Soothsaying.
Yeah, that maybe he's just so far behind in the meta that he doesn't realize people have been doing that, so it's not even on his radar.
I don't think it is. I mean,
that could be it.
He could be watching more Legacy than I think he is.
Rich has been out of the game for a while now.
At least out of the store.
At least here, yeah. I guess we don't know what he's been doing on his own.
It looks like he's taking out Thought Seizes.
And Abrupt Decay, so I think Counterbalance not on his radar at all tonight.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's going to pay off here.
He didn't see it at all game 1. And
yeah, Josh did have it last week, the Soothsaying and the Counterbalance, but I don't think he has it at all this week.
Like, Josh couldn't have hit it from Rich.
Right.
Rich wanting to start at 18.
The old pile shuffle.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Looks like this match is over. No.
Yeah, I don't see the other player's deck at all. But
oh, there it is. He's just got it, and he's trying to figure out how to sideboard. That match is not ogre. I'm sorry.
I am really hungry.
This sucks.
All this talk of food.
Oh yeah, somebody won that match. We should update the thing.
Oh yeah.
It was Rich, wasn't it?
Yes, game one going to Rich. All right, players are presenting. Give the decks a little cut.
3, 7.
All right, and I think Josh potentially. No, that hand looks okay.
Yeah, that looks like a good hand.
At first I didn't see much land, but there's a couple there and some cantrips.
Portent. Terminus.
Land, Swords to Plowshares. He's going to draw the land and keep Swords to Plowshares Terminus on top of his library. The Terminus below the Swords. So in that order specifically. So you're going to draw Swords to Plowshares here. And he's just going to fire that off against the Deathrite Shaman.
We've seen this play before tonight, haven't we?
Yeah. How do you feel about letting the Deathrite stay in play so that you can get value out of that Terminus? Are you just too afraid of it making Liliana? Like turn 2 Liliana the Veil?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, yeah, Sword's probably the right play there. And Terminus, nice. Just going to take care of Bob. So, boom.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Win-win! Swords for the Deathrite, no Liliana. Take care of the Bob.
I think there's a lot of things off of that Deathrite that you're afraid of. Like fixing his mana into him to Turok.
Sure.
Like, just the power of Deathrite.
Yeah, you're right. So, Wasteland going to take care of the Tundra. And Brainstorm, Rich's end step. Probably looking to get rid of that other Terminus in his hand. Looks like he drew Swords to Plowshares, Jace, Brainstorm off of this other Brainstorm.
So Brainstorm again. Baneslayer Angel. Right?
Is that what he drew?
Second from the top. So it looks like he puts back Baneslayer Angel and Terminus.
I didn't see. I hope it's a Baneslayer Angel. And I hope he makes the Baneslayer Angel.
There it is.
Gosh, I can't see it. He keeps hiding it from me.
It's a counterspell at the front now.
I still don't see a Baneslayer Angel, but I believe you, it's there.
You see it there?
Yeah, I think I saw it. I'm excited again.
Again, doesn't have that second white.
Don't discard the Baneslayer Angel! Don't do it!
He got a counterspell.
Okay, good. I like that. Trading 1 for 1 instead of 2 for 1 is good.
Oh, there's another one.
Don't discard the Baneslayer Angel! Don't do it! If I don't see a Baneslayer Angel on this stream, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, I have a feeling. Nope,
Ooh.
double Jace.
Yeah, get those Jaces out of here. I want a Baneslayer Angel so bad.
Jace the Jace Sculptor.
But, oh, no lands from Josh, though. He's kind of stuck.
He's got another counterspell.
Yeah,
So,
but no more cantrips to try and help Josh work through. He's just going to have to draw him the old natural way.
Okay, so
one a turn.
Gonna continue to protect that Baneslayer Angel from discard.
Yep. Is that
Oh, it's a Pyroblast!
Gonna take care of the counterspell for Rich, and this Liliana's gonna resolve. So that's gonna spell bad news for Baneslayer Angel.
So yes, he's getting 2 cards out of his hand this turn, so...
Right, that, and even if he casts Baneslayer Angel,
yeah.
Liliana gonna take care of it.
Oh, you're right.
So I think discarding Terminus. Things looking really good here for Rich. Josh kind of stumbling.
This is totally where Jund performs. It's like... It's just so... It's much better at 1-for-1ing.
Right.
And then it has ways of gaining advantage.
And a deck like Miracles does not have a lot of actual card advantage.
Yeah.
Their cantrips kind of, Brainstorm may be better than just a 1-for-1, some more value in there, but it's more virtual card advantage than actual hard card advantage. The best way for them to get card advantage at this point, in Josh's build specifically, is predict. And he's just not finding those kinds of cards here.
There is Jace, but that's just impossible for him to get to. It looks like he'll be able to get to it this turn.
But I don't think he has a Jace. He discarded 2 of them.
That's true.
I don't know that he has a third.
He needs a second white for that Baneslayer, and it'll just die to a sacrifice.
Yeah, so... Yeah, against a deck that can't really generate just hard actual card advantage and is more reliant on virtual card advantage, that's where a card like Liliana shines, and that's where cards like Hymn to Turok shine.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where Jund gets its card advantage from, is denying you of cards.
Punishing Fire.
Yeah, Punishing Fire is also a good source of card advantage for them too, but Josh really not knowing what to do here with this Ponder.
Yeah, these...
Looking at Land, Monastery Mentor, and Swords to Plowshares.
I think
He's
I
going
might
to draw the
shuffle
Polluted
that.
Delta.
Okay. It looks like he is going to shuffle that. He wants the land, but he doesn't want the rest of the cards.
So
in my
Rich did
opinion.
bring in the Golgari Charm. He just drew one.
Oh, okay.
Up goes the Liliana, which is going to discard Josh's Baneslayer Angel.
Wah, wah.
I'm a sad face.
Okay, he does sacrifice.
Yeah, so he does want to shuffle away that Monastery Mentor.
Pretty soon here, that Lily is going to be minusing and dividing those permanents in
yeah,
half.
Monastery Mentor actually not good. Not a great draw when you have no cards in hand. So you either keep it in hand and lose it to the +1, or you play it and lose it to the -2.
Yeah.
And no way to bluff whether you have the
cantrip
with no cards in hand. So up goes Lily to 7 and a pass.
Rich is the only one that discards there, but he's happy to do it.
I think that's a point in the game where you're fine
Yeah.
discarding. Josh play another land, so he's not going to discard this turn either, but still good news for Rich.
So Rich can minus Lily and blow up 3 of Josh's lands.
Yeah. Curious how he orders them. I kind of like splitting the fetches. You either keep all your lands or keep your fetch lands. And Josh wants to keep the fetch lands in case he draws a Brainstorm.
Wow, okay.
I like that split.
How many more non-fetches does he have in his deck? Plenty?
I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track of what he's fetched so far, but
I think he's looking now.
looks like he's only drawn 2 fetches. I think I saw a Flooded Strand and a Polluted Delta, so he's got at least 3 more? No, just a Polluted Delta.
So Deathrite Shaman going to start eating things.
All the lands are going to get fetched here. Island. Let's see if there's a plains.
There's 2.
2 plains and 1 island. Okay.
He's already
cast...
cast...
the Swords to Plowshares is going to go... Snapcaster Swords to Plowshares in response to the Deathrite Shaman. Going to take care of the Tarmogoyf.
There's no Grove of the Burn Willows for Rich. Lily can't...
Yeah, so I think
minus.
You do just do that. Rich gonna do some takesies backsies. That's all right. This is casual.
But Sylvan Library coming down.
And that's gonna be a good source of card advantage for Rich.
He's at 24 thanks to those swords.
Card selection, and if he does want to do it, he's got a lot of life to play with. That's a lot of cards.
I think I would just immediately
draw
all
3
of these cards.
It looked like 2 lands and a Golgari Charm, like a Wasteland.
I literally don't care what they are.
Yeah. Just get them off the top of your deck to try and...
I just want cards in my hand.
So up goes Liliana. I guess that's true too. You want more cards in your hand to the... So in response to the uptick, Surgical Extraction going to take down this... Wow, there were 3 Punishing Fires in Rich's grave.
Yeah, a lot of discard to Lily.
Oh, I guess it wasn't...
We saw him go through a large portion of his deck earlier.
I don't think that he does it all today. There's no Soothsaying or Counterbalance for Josh this week.
Yeah. What skill Gary terms other modes? It's regenerate and
regenerate -1/-1 to all creatures or destroy an enchantment.
The -1/-1 is still relevant.
Right, and I think that's the only reason it's been brought in here. Is it's Rich's only way of cleaning up monk tokens.
He has Toxic Deluge.
Oh yeah, you right.
I was discussing this with him before.
Yeah.
And he's like, how much of the meta is creature-based decks? Enough to run Toxic Deluge? And I was like, oh, yeah.
I think that Lily's on 3. It was on 1, and I believe he's used it twice. I think that the board is correct, and Lily was on 3.
So
but
Rich
I'm not
just takes that
100%
down.
sure. But yep, Rich gonna take it down 2-0.
Is this an unboarding happening?
It looks like an unboarding happening.
All right. I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be streaming the pre-release.
What time is it?
Sad face. It is 9:52.
Ooh, it's so late. Yeah, it sounds like no pre-release stream, but you guys go enjoy your own pre-releases or whatever you're doing tonight.
Yeah. So that was awesome. You got to see some great Legacy tonight.
There were some very fun games tonight to watch.
That was so much fun. I've been watching Legacy at work because I started a call center job and I have access to YouTube, and I think that what we saw here has been like some of my favorite Magic I saw all week. We saw Surgical. I think the play of the day for me was Surgical on my own thing. Do not do anything besides shuffle.
Yeah.
Because the top 3 cards of my library are junk.
Yep,
They're
and
not
he
land.
just resolved his brainstorm, knew what it was. Yeah. That just kind of showcasing like how skill intensive the format can be and how many diverse plays there are, and like when you get 2 players that are one just skilled Magic players, but 2 also very, very attuned to their own deck and the meta, you see some really cool stuff.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We'll be here pretty much every Friday. There's Legacy on Tuesday. There's Standard on Monday.
Yeah, so you can catch Kyra will be part of the Standard streams on Monday. You'll see Kyra and Bryce on Tuesday for Legacy.
Patrick is on Monday.
Patrick, that's right.
And anyway,
and Judge class is on Wednesday, right?
Yep, Judge class on Wednesday. So from all the heroes here at Paragon City Games, thank you for watching, and see you next week.
Bye.